partners.
Okay.
And we have leaders on that way. Okay. You see,
on a normal day, communication usually happens in this WhatsApp group where all of you
guys we created a wall for all of us.
For all of you guys.
Yes, so from the commuters, all the stakeholders.
So why then was communication then coming through a phone call as opposed to these united group that you formed where communication was supposed to happen?
The leader who is supposed to give the communication is supposed to update members. Each time, each day. Okay, this is what is happening. We are expecting this.
Okay.
So that day, we were informed by a phone call. Another friend called me that, are you aware that there is a meeting going on in the deputy president office? Me, I knew it was deputy president. In fact, when I left rushing there, I went to the deputy president's office, only to be told, no, it is in the president office at the CS. Yeah? I told him, no, I'm not aware. Then he said, the other guy told me he is far. He cannot make it. And the way he had the conversation from the one who called him, that the meeting is almost over. So, being the person who was trending, I said, oh, wow, I cannot be left out. I took, the one who called me told me, where are you? Wherever you are, take the fastest means possible. So I took a border. Yes, I reached there. I tried to enter in. In fact, for some times we were stopped. Then I said, no one is representing me in that meeting. I'm from the tourism sector industry. That is when they allowed me and some people who were also waiting. So we went to the room. And when I entered, I came late. They were doing the final remarks.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay? They were doing the final
This was
remarks.
On Tuesday now?
Yes. And I am sorry on this case because I'm one person. I don't know how to craft what is not
there.
True. There, all what is not there.
So, Kennedy, what you're saying to us essentially is that on Monday night, because you were visibly upset, the whole nation was visibly upset.
Yes.
That by the time we were going to bed midnight waiting for all of this, it was clear that we were at an impasse. There was no agreement that was going to be made.
Correct.
But the same arrangement that had been reached on Monday is the same arrangement that was reached on Tuesday. There is nothing that has changed except for the fact that the industry players now said, okay, fine, we'll give you 7 days to do this, and if after 7 days we'll go back on strike. But what you're telling us now, you who essentially said this thing that you're telling us, Mr. CS, cannot happen because that is not what we agreed, and the meeting fell apart.
Yes.
You were not there on Tuesday until the end of the meeting.
Correct.
Does that mean that had you been there, you would not have agreed and you would have said, no, guys, stop all of this thing, had you been there earlier?
Yes, because that was our stand.
Okay. This is
towards any other next meeting.
This is Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, we left there the previous evening, the previous night.
Yes.
And all of us took stand and they were very happy. In fact, they said I saved the nation. I even saved them. Remember that the majority who are there, they are matatu industry people, and they are the ones who are now the leaders. They are heading our committee, and they are the ones whom we chose. Some of us we travel, so you have to have people who are present there. If they can be called anytime, they are there.
Okay.
And in that case, there are those who are representing their circles from matatu industry.
So, Kennedy, you are still not happy with this 10 shilling reduction on diesel?
Well, I'm not happy. I'm sorry to say. Please, anyone who will hear this, he has to excuse me because we agreed that any meeting that we are going to be called upon, let us have one stand. Yes. That we want fuel increase to be reduced, to be lowered. If not 46, at least 35 to 30.
So, you shook hands. In fact, they insisted that you be the one to say that we have reached an agreement and you be the one to shake the hand of CS Opio Wandai, CS Kipchumba Murkomen, you shook their hands.
Yes, I shook because we
Everybody
were not
saw,
enemy.
And you, of course, I mean. But what you're saying now is that fundamentally you are not in agreement with the agreement that was reached.
That is from me. I don't know about the others.
You told
if I was in that room that day from the beginning of the meeting,
but on Tuesday,
I could have excused myself if we had no an agreement.
I understand
could
that,
have
but
come
Kennedy,
out
you
anyway.
must understand how it looks.
Yes.
That on Tuesday, before 1 o'clock,
yes,
you had said we've reached an agreement. But now what you're saying today, on Thursday, is that actually I don't agree with what was agreed on.
No, I never said we reached an agreement. And if anyone of them said that, not for me. Remember that they had already prepared who was going to talk.
Yeah.
Me coming in it was an afterthought.
Okay.
Because I was there.
Out you.
I was not going to speak that day.
Okay.
But my people, my other players in the industry, partners, stakeholders, they're the ones who said no. The due respect man has to say something, because as we stand now, this is the guy of the moment, and he's the one which the Kenyan people will hear.
Kaunda, this is really troubling, because
it is troubling me as well. Yes.
On Monday, you stood on business and told off pretty much the cabinet secretary and called him out for lying. Because you had not agreed on that position.
Correct.
You went to sleep. And on a Tuesday, conversations were held by individuals that you trusted pretty much, because there was where you were having a conversation, that WhatsApp group, where conversations never happened. Only for you to hear that some of your members in that leadership were already meeting without you people having information, that you only showed up because someone else leaked that information to you that there's a meeting that is ongoing.
Yes.
You show up, you are stopped from getting in, finally you get in, but when you come out, a statement is given, but on Tuesday, you don't stand on business like you did on Monday. What stopped you from saying, I wasn't part of this? I do not agree with this.
I stood with the business of the goodwill. That is what I did. I did not stood in the business of the agreement reached.
Okay.
There was goodwill. And that is the spirit which moved me to say something, because they